Hello, Bit Heroes. This is McProseph again, wrapping up a 5 to 6 part series discussing the buffs from Wednesday. As you can see in the document here, I started at 9.37 mil and currently have 9.67 mil. So about 0.3 million total. The Wednesday buff does still have about 2 hours. I wanted to go over some consumables real quick here in the guild shop. Obviously the average energy potion gives you 50 energy each. I was able to get about 74,000 honor just from playing Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and buy all these and use them. And then I'm going to also exchange any PvP rewards. Looks like we'll get one more after a dungeon. Also crafting here, trade. Let's go down to see if we can get any more energy. I'm going to try to get as much energy as we can. Looks like about 3. That's fine. Let's go ahead and trade them in. Some would argue against this. Everyone has their play style. But again, specifically for leveling up quickly, this is what I recommend. I'm going to go ahead and just start a quest here. Make sure I have my runs in. I forget to put my experienced ones in all the time. It's very frustrating. Something off topic, I was recently talking to a friend. For those of you that haven't read the Fallen Heroes forum, I talked about how once you hit level 100, it seems like the friends that you had all along are suddenly just gone. And I will show you here, this is the exact name of the forum, Fallen Heroes. You'll find it on the guild website. The game is great. I have nothing against it. But one thing I've been noticing a lot is people will focus specifically on gear, legendaries to be specific. They will grind and grind until they get to raid 1. They will get full legendary status and then basically just quit the game. They'll try to get into raid 2, but it's a little too hard for them. And the major hurdle is the people that are over 100 seem to have a little bit of pride amongst themselves that they can't friend someone below them. So they'll turn off their friend requests right here in the settings. They'll turn this off. And then from that point forward, nobody can really access them. And they just shut themselves off from society, really. The game in general. I did post another forum that talks about don't forget the little people and clear your friends list. Hopefully the developers will think of something here. I've racked my brain on what we could possibly do. Ultimately it comes down to the player making the decision to help the fellow gamer. Hopefully people start doing that more often, because since I've made these forums, I've had numerous level 100 plus people reach out and say, hey, I read your forum, I totally agree. As a level 100 player, it's really hard to find someone that's higher than me that will actually accept a friend request. I know, for example, I have a actual Congregate friend. I have him friended in Congregate, and I've sent him personal PMs and he just doesn't respond. I don't feel entitled to anything, but it does become almost a one-man game after you hit level 100. Maybe 120 or so. But for those of you that have got there, you know what I mean. And that is why I specifically focus on experience only and just let the gear come to me. As you can see here, I am full legendary. I still need an accessory and a pet, but I don't play the game specifically for these things. You can see basically a full lineup here for Raid 2 gear, but I just have to farm a ton of shards that never drop. But when you focus specifically on the negatives, I mean, you start to really make a problem bigger than it really is. I was talking to a friend recently about how it almost seems contagious. You know, you'll go through the forum lists down below the game, and occasionally you'll see someone that makes a long drawn out statement as to they're quitting and as to why. They don't ever really have a decent reason, but they'll go on there and just spill the beans on all this negative stuff, and then that seems to go through the community like wildfire and just spawn a bunch of questions and thoughts in people's minds, and before you know it, you're having the same thoughts. So if you are contemplating possibly going somewhere else or possibly taking a little bit less extreme, I would recommend trying to focus specifically on experience for a while. You know, see how quickly you can go up 10 levels if you specifically gear for experience. Target something that you don't always focus on. For example, if you've always focused on gear through your whole grind, like I did for my first character, you get burned out pretty quick. But now that I have 3 guys, my second 2 people focus specifically on experience. Neither of them were super geared, but I enjoyed playing them a lot more than focusing on gear. That's what I'm trying to point out here. I won't continue rambling. I just wanted to show a couple dungeons here, show you how much experience I'm getting from them. The Wednesday buff will be over here in about 2 hours. I'll be making one last video to wrap up the final seconds and give you an update on the total amount of experience gained. If you guys have any questions or recommendations of what kind of videos you want to see in the future, do let me know. I'm pretty much stuck on this game for right now. I really like this game. I've noticed the community really needs someone that's going to put forth the effort in giving tips back to the community. I know I've learned, for example, a lot of tips and tricks in the game that I didn't even know about until hitting level 100. And there's some pretty sizable tricks and tips that, you know, would have been really good to know in the like starting like level 1. You know, you can save a ton of time if you know certain things about the game. But it's a learning process. I mean, you got to get in there and learn it for yourself. But on the same hand, it's nice to have a forum that is going to give you a nice overview of things. Fail. Oh, there's a lot of gear. What do you guys think of the new treasure chests they've put inside the dungeons now? I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so we purchased all. Okay, it looks like we qualify for one more average energy potion. Going to go ahead and buy that last one. And let's see how much total we got. So now we're down to only about 600 honor. But what's interesting is if you go down to this energy you just purchased, you have 5 of them total. So that's about 250 energy. So you're going to go ahead and pop a couple of these in. And you'll just continue grinding. One recommendation I'll make, and you probably already know this, is that you can trade your energy for raids. And this is one of the major mistakes I made early on. I would trade all of my energy every single time for this. And this will give you 1 additional charge for your raid, and then you will be able to do 1 more raid. And while that's good for grinding for gear, it also slows your leveling a lot. So instead of getting however much hundreds of experience bonuses, you're now specifically going after gear, and not to mention the heroics that you do in dungeons. If you could do 3 heroics versus 1 raid, you get considerably more experience. I may have to do a video specifically for that, just to show you. But I've tested out pretty much all the numbers in the game. I've even tested out the theory of, can you do, if you'll notice, the normal mode dungeons cost, I believe, 10 energy, and the heroic costs 30. I've actually tested a theory that if you do only normal mode, since it's only 10 energy, could you, since you're doing a lot more of them, can you get more experience from just doing normal than rather doing fewer heroics? And the answer is, it's actually pretty close. But heroics still went out by a couple thousand experience. So, if you guys have continued questions, please do ask. I'm going to let this raid wrap up here. And I'm probably going to end this video. I don't want to make them too long. I really hate making long videos. It seems like people only have an attention span of 2 minutes nowadays. So, I'm trying to make something that's not super long, dull, and boring. If you guys want any other forums typed up, I do like to type those up. I like to try to make them as in-depth as possible. I don't like just 2-sentence answers. If you guys have any other questions, do let me know. And as far as friend requests, I have my friend requests checked at all times. I empty my friend list every day, and just send a friend request to McProseph and let me know you watched the video, and I will help you gear up. As far as guild requests, I've had a couple of questions on guild requests. We do have a forum. I believe it's called Guild Requests, actually. And you can go there. We are recruiting, but only characters that are above level 60. Above level 60. We like to have people that are active. We do boot after 2 days. Just because we have one dedicated mind to get in there, get the game done, and go home. We don't like people to just leave for days and days at a time, because we want to be all about leveling the guild quickly. I think we're 77 now? Yep, 77777. That's a lot of sevens. And I think our longest AFK member is just 1 day. 1 day. 20 people, all putting forth the effort. Good stuff. I know there's a lot of guilds out there that are just falling apart. Some of them, the leader is going AFK for like 2 weeks at a time. That's sad stuff. And I don't know how the developers would even combat stuff like that. It's a tough situation. Because I know if I lost my guild after being away for just a few days, it'd be rough. Okay, so I'm going to grind out the rest of this energy. I have quite a bit to do. I have a few trials left to do, and maybe a couple PvPs. Again, the experience level right now is 9.69. I may be able to squeeze out 2 full levels from this Wednesday, but I will let you know in the next video. You guys have a good one, and please do comment below if you have any questions. Have a good day, and McProseph out.